feel like the rotor's hitting something.
Yeah.
Definitely the rotor's hitting something.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Another day finally. Got to take a break from my frustration with this dang car and the brake situation. So basically what's going on is the brakes are grinding on something only when you turn. Alright, got everything completely tore apart here. Everything is like new, man. New tie rods, lowering springs, upper control arms, bushings are great, new lower control arms, but the rotors, look at that groove. It's pretty gnarly. So we're gonna replace the rotors and brakes.
Got new calipers, rotors, pads, and hopefully now it'll brake well.
Got some fresh calis. I told Brandon we should paint them, and he said why, so we didn't paint them. But maybe I'll take them back off and paint them once we know the car runs well. So, all right. So we got the rotors. We just bled the brakes. Everything's turning out good. When we spin this, we don't hear any grinding. So hopefully not. We'll see. We're gonna put the wheels back on and go take it for a test drive again. Hopefully this works. Basically what's going on is the brakes are grinding on something only when you turn. Now, I replaced the calipers, replaced new brake pads, put brand new rotors on it. The rotors got destroyed with less than a mile of driving. So, put some more thought into it, did some research, and I came to a conclusion of it might be the wheel bearing. So I jacked the car up. The passenger wheel bearing is for sure bad. Driver's side doesn't feel bad, but what I'm going to do is I have a buddy. He has some knuckles with brand new wheel bearings, hubs, and ball joints. I'm going to scoop those from him. He gave me a good price on them. And then install those, put the brakes back on. I might even just paint the calipers too because they're brand new. Why not? and then reinstall, and I'll see if that works. Just gonna take the 17s off here, pull the caliper off, pull this bracket off, upper control arm bolt, tie rod bolt, and lower control arm bolt. Take this spindle out, go and grab the next spindle, put the other spindle on. Oh yeah, can't forget, gotta take out the axle bolt. So I'm gonna get to it, get this spindle out, and then you just take those bolts off on the other side as well. That's it. Very easy. So welcome back. It's the next day. We are going to replace the wheel bearings. I told you guys I was going to go pick up some spindles that already had wheel bearings replaced, but they were kind of sitting for a while, so I just decided to just use the same spindles, replace them. This should be a great how-to video on how to use a wheel bearing press at home. I don't even have some of the right tools to use it, so I'm just kind of making do with what I have. But hopefully this will give you guys a little helping hand. Here is wheel bearing press. Got some wrenches. I already did this side. I ordered new hubs. This the inner race. So hang on. So this is your hub right here. This is your hub. You can see the inner race right here. That's actually the inner side of the bearing. So you can see, if you really pull out this race, see, that goes into the bearing, but this is on the other side. It is stuck on the hub. There is ways to get it out. I could use a grinder and just kind of grind at an angle right here. And then you can use a chisel and kind of break it loose. But I already think the car is going to a good home, so I honestly would prefer just, I mean, these are pretty rusty and old anyways, so might as well just replace it. They're not too expensive, so put a brand new one on for them. So I'm not going to have a how-to video on how to take this inner race off, but there are tons of videos online that you can see. So first step is grab so once you get your spindle off, it's just very easy. You got your 2 caliper bolts, tie rod, upper control arm, and your ball joint bolts taken off. I just rethreaded on here so that way it doesn't ruin the threads and I don't lose the bolt. So you need to take the hub out before we take the bearing out. So the hub, you see that inside ring right here, that very first one, that's your hub. So you need to find a socket, and actually, so if you rent this kit, I rented it from I think O'Reilly's. This, the thread-on bolt actually fits perfect. See that? And all you're gonna do is you're gonna hold it up, you're gonna hammer it. So I don't have any vice grip, or not a vice grip, but I don't have the table thing. So that would make it a lot easier if you have that at home. I'm basically just gonna hold this up on my legs like so and just hammer it through. Alright, just like so. Fell right out, pretty easy. Obviously the inner race is going to be stuck, so if you plan on reusing your hubs, this is the point that you're going to take the grinder, cutting wheel, you're going to cut sideways slit, but make sure you do not cut part of the hub. Then you can chisel it out, but it's just, I'm just going to buy new hubs. So I'm not going to have, like I said, how-to on there. So there's the other hub. Now you got the bearing. These bearings are pretty bad, not gonna lie. So you see the snap ring right here. Now you don't necessarily need snap ring pliers. I just use needle nose. Put them in the hole. It's a little complicated with trying to film it too. But anyways, you're gonna put it in the hole. All right. Looks like this one's seized on there a little bit. So if it's seized on there, what you can do is you can grab a smaller flathead. And what I'm going to try and do is just break it loose all the way around. Alright, the snap ring was a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. What I did was I took pliers, those needle nose, I squeezed it and I put a flathead underneath and kind of pried it up so it would come out. But it's out, so. Alright, next step, now we push the hub out through the back side. The wheel bearing is going to come out through this way. So what you want to do, grab our casing here. You're going to use this adapter sleeve. Nope. Alright, see this ring? See how that fits over top? So that the wheel bearing can still come out. It can come in this hole here. So it fits on the outside of this ring here. The wheel bearing can get pushed into here. See if there's another sleeve that might fit. Yes, so I'm using adapter sleeve R. Spacer ring U inside of here. Then you're going to take your support plate. I'll put this all together. So it's going to go adapter sleeve, plate, and you'll run the bolt through. Okay? That's because the bearing is going to get pressed inside of that sleeve. On the back side, you want to find a step washer that fits on the bearing itself. See, this fits perfectly around this ring, but the bearing's in here. So, too big, way too big. Right there. See that? It's got a little bit of movement. So, if you're renting this from O'Reilly's, it'll be the Step Washer J. Okay, so once you get to this point, right, I'm just going to put on a couple washers so that I get more thread. Alright, so I put the smaller washers next so that this can get pressed through. And I just put some other washers here so that I can have more thread. There we go. There you go. There's the bearing. With the piece stuck. So, gotta get that out now. Set it up on a stand like this. Hammered the pry bar, or not the pry bar, but the chisel here. It was stuck. Now I take my foot, kick it down, kind of like pry it off. So that's how you do that. Oh, it's such a mess. Alright, I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to teach you guys how to press the bearing back into the hub. Back into the hub. Man, I always say a lot of wrong stuff. Whatever. Back into the knuckle, or the spindle, whatever. You get the point. So what you want to do, you're going to press it in from the front side. I'm just going to place it here. I would recommend freezing it. When you freeze it, it makes it smaller and easier to press in. So then I'm going to find that. Perfect fit. It will press on the outer ring. You don't want to press on the poly, you want to press on the outer ring here. So this should fit really nicely here. thread through. Then on the back side, well actually, yeah, back side, you want to make sure that the one that you run on here is going to fit on the outer ring. Okay, so it's too big. That should work right there. See that? Now I'm just going to put some extra washers and stuff on it. Once you can no longer turn it, it should be done. It's in. See that there's enough room for the snap ring. Bottom out on the back. Alright, it took a little bit, but we finally got the good new hubs back in. So kind of left off with pressing the bearing in. So next step is getting the snap ring back in here. And I had a lot of complications with getting the snap ring out, so I invested in a little snap ring kit from Harbor Freight. So we'll see how these guys work. I always get confused with snap rings, but anyways, see if we got one that works for this. Not gonna lie, this was so much easier just having snap ring plier. It's, oh my gosh. So now that the snap ring's in, press the hub into here, and we can get the spindle back on. So we get all that set up, and we'll show you what to do next. Alright, so we're gonna put this hub in. Same tools, same everything, but you want to find one that fits in this inner ring right here. See that metal part inside of there? So this one looks about good here, and on the hub itself, this ring here, right there. So place this here. There's one on top. This one fits on the back side. You're gonna press it in the opposite way that you pressed in the wheel bearing. Okay? So you're gonna press it in through this way, where your snap ring goes. So the hub will fit here, right in there. Look like this, and all you do is tighten the bolts and it presses it right in. Once you can't tighten it anymore, that's when you know it's good. So let me get this all set up. Alright, so once you get the hub on, just going to make sure that you take off all the nuts. I got some new cotter pins as well. I'm just going to reinstall the hub again. Not the hub, the spindle. I like to put the CB axle in first. Alright, so torque specs. Let's see here. So on the tie rod, so this one, the tie rod, you're going to have 35 foot-pounds ball joint. You're going to have 43 foot-pounds up here. You're going to have 35 foot-pounds. Your axle nut, 135 foot-pounds. Okay, so I'm going to get all that tightened up, and hopefully this will fix the braking issue. So hub no longer moves. Same with the other side. Okay, so I just took it for a test drive, and it wasn't grinding around like longer turns, but it had a little bit of a grind. I think it could be just because I left the bad rotors on, and it could be hitting a different part of the brake pad. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm just going to put brand new brakes and rotors on it. Pray to God that it fixed the issue with the wheel bearing. Otherwise, I'm going to be out another $176, but it is what it is. It's cars. So I'm just going to go ahead and jack it back up again. Replace new pads, new rotors. Got them right here. So weird, it says rear driver's side, but I matched them up with the front rotors and they're the exact same size. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these on, and hopefully that fixes the issue, but we shall see. We shall see. So alright, get this jacked up again. Okay, so we got rear driver's side. Ready? Alright, one side's done, and we will get the next side. Alright, get these lug bolts tightened up, and let's pray to God that it works. Man, I really hope so. If it's not this, to be honest, I don't even know what other issue it could be. No clue. And it makes sense if wheel bearing's bad, right? Like when the suspension's under load, it's gonna cause that wheel to tilt in. When the wheel tilts in, the rotor is going to hit the caliper and grind. So hopefully we'll see. So we'll get these tightened up really quick. All right, let's test her out. Not to mention, this entire project has honestly taken 2 weeks because I kept getting all the wrong parts sent to AutoZone and Advanced and O'Reilly's, and yeah, it's been a pain in the butt trying to get the right parts. So I'm just happy that I got it back together now. I'm hoping that this fixed the issue. So let's see. Look at that, guys. No grinding. Ever had that issue, 100% at your wheel bearings, and just plan on replacing your hubs too, because when you hammer that wheel bearing out of there, I mean that race is gonna stay on that hub. I don't know how to get it off. I've seen a lot of people get it off, but all in all, you know, hubs are not that expensive. Wouldn't hurt you to replace them anyways. You're already there, you know, so spend the couple extra bucks just to get those hubs replaced. It's not even worth the hassle. Man, this thing runs great. fixed it, guys. Right, so I'm gonna cut this video now, but took a little bit to kind of figure that out, but you know, we got the mechanics down. Car runs great, started idling, no more grinding on the rotors, got everything torqued to spec, and you guys can do this at home as well. You know, it's just all test and tune research. It's pretty easy, but hopefully that was able to help anybody out with that section of it. So next step is we're gonna sand the car down with 220, get all the body work done. Once the body work's done, we're going to get into the paint booth, get the car painted. I think we're just gonna do the OEM white. It thinks my friend wants the car, so get it back to looking perfect. So we'll get into some bodywork stuff. Got to fix the mirror, install the new fiberglass fenders, and I think the next video also I might start kind of going through the process on if you have a car with no title, how do you get it titled in the state of Colorado. So we'll get into that stuff. That stuff should be good. Now granted, if you're in a different state, obviously it might be a different process, but overall you'll be able to see kind of what the process is here, and you could just go to your local DMV and literally just ask them like, hey dude, I bought a car with no title, what do I do? How do I get a title? What's the process? And they'll print you out probably it's like a packet. I'll show you guys next video on the packet. But thanks for tuning in, man. Glad we got this figured out. So stay tuned. We'll get started on some body work, get the car painted, get the car inspected, and hopefully get a title within a month. So see ya.